Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's a blanket policy, though, for all their cars.
Intro. Games Workshop's Basement. Hosted by John Quennell, Danny McDevitt, Val Heffelfinger. I'm Dickie, and it's Grim After Dark.
I panicked and just started hitting sound effects until something worked. Welcome to Grim After Dark, Warhammer's only late night show for some reason. My name is John. We're here to misinform and entertain as we take a look at the wide world of Warhammer. This week, we go the laziest possible route. No prepared slides, no funny jokes or memes, purely listener questions. Feel free to add yours in the chat. And by the time Dickie gets us that link, we might read them. And then also from our Discord as well.
Maybe.
First up, it's the co-host with the Quennell. We're going to meet the team, obviously. That's the next part. This is very formulaic. If you don't know this by now, you're statistically a new viewer, which doesn't exist according to our algorithms. First up, it's co-host with the co-most, residing in Anchorage, Alaska. He put the law in White Claw and is only slightly stuttered by the internet. It's our competitive champion, Danny McDevitt.
Hi, John.
It looks like you are filming a TikTok about how liberals are ruining the country.
I'm not even in my truck, though, John, so I don't really see how that's possible.
That's fair. And your cap is, you don't have a backwards cap on, which only the worst people would possibly do. Next up, he's a beautiful face of everything square-based, is a fantasy enthusiast and a 40K denier. It's the terror of Toronto, Val Heffelfinger. No! I feel awkward now that you're wearing a backwards hat.
As I often am, John.
Just taking it off, like, right away.
As I often am, John.
It's a Heffelfinger original. Mm-hmm. And then
this one's a golf hat.
The man behind the Iron Curtain of Canada. He's a world eater, but not a world beater. Canadian coach, an American sympathizer, Tech Priest Dickie.
Let's hope my audio doesn't make anyone sad this week.
Yeah, that was a comment actually from last week's show. I didn't pull because I want to be nice to Dickie. Someone saying that Dickie's audio made him sad.
Do you think it was just like my words were making him sad, or my actual audio was?
Boys, it's a whole package.
Yeah,
it's a combo deal. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So obviously, with Danny being back in Alaska, with me also in Alaska, only one of us gets good internet at a time. This week, I won the roll-off for that, so that's sort of where we're at there. I want to thank everyone who checked out the
9th edition ties go to the loser. Just so you know.
Everyone checked out the Prices Redacted supercut I did of last month's Prices Redacted as a very easy way to do content from my couch on a Friday night.
You did a supercut?
I did. I did just the Prices Redacted for last month.
Nice.
Wow.
My son was watching a movie I had no interest in, so I decided to do that instead.
Sweet.
Fantastic. Well, let's get started with our classic usual comment of the week, brought to you by Frontline Gaming. We can say that now because I'm specifically, and I think it's really important to note that these ads are probably all like authorized and verified as 100% official. But
Dickie,
this
can
is
you
our
make
special.
John lower? I feel like he's even lower than he was before. More low.
More low.
Like just like shoulder, give us like nipples and up, just like old signals. There you go. There you go.
Is that better?
Nothing I like more than flow being interrupted to lower my nipples. Thank you. That's the kind of time wasting we're looking for on a Tuesday night.
Fill for time.
But thanks to our friends at Frontline Gaming. Use the link in the comment or the description to get all of your Warhammer at a cheaper price. And this week we have this special ad that was made up, obviously officially. It's my birthday. Yeah, if you go to
keeps growing.
frontlinegaming.org through the link in the comments here, you can get for a limited time secondhand product at an additional 20% off, which just makes it a fantastic price. And how dare they? Because much like Homelander, last week was my birthday, and I feel it's rude that they called it a summer sale. But that's okay. First comment of the week, because we have two, is there a Grim After Dark promo code to get a pair of fuzzy dice with wingdings instead of pips with your purchase of a Frontline Gaming FAA-approved travel bag cum library for only $155 US?
Library.
I picked this one not necessarily for the pair of fuzzy dice, because that one didn't tickle me. But Danny, thoughts on the cum library?
Yeah, I thought you had to go to a special store for those with a back room, but apparently you can just order them right from Frontline.
Well, what's great is like they have a secondhand store for minis and a one-hand store for the cum library.
Amazing.
I mean, Dickie's broadcasting from the cum library right now.
I am ready. Here we go.
That's why he's not got a picture today, folks.
That's right, because we are right in there. Let me pull this up here. But yeah, loving the library. Thanks for the challenge, Dickie. Next up, we have this more serious one. This is unfortunately my favorite show of all time.
Was that last week?
That was on last week. Yeah. Wow. Which encouraged me to do even less preparation this week. It's apparently we just go.
Well, thanks for listening to the show exactly one time. We appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
And then having never listening to any other content the rest of the time.
I'm also just, my ego is just trying to hope that like it was a overall comment, like Grim After Dark is his favorite show of all time, rather than that episode, which I'm pretty sure I was asleep for.
That's fair. I think we were also asleep for it too.
Mostly.
Perfect. But yeah, those are our comments of the week. And Val, now it's time for us to go to your favorite of the bumpers. Let's do some listener questions.
Still good.
Yeah. So we had, some of us had a lot of life going on this week. Danny, obviously, getting into his new digs there. Val recovering from many an old world game. Dickie getting frustrated that we don't do ask for things until 5 minutes after we're supposed to start. Me having to present my house to realtors and people who judge me, which I hate. So we are having a bit of a lazy episode this week, where we're gonna hit a couple buttons here real quick.
Yep.
I just want to be clear.
If you want, I can just come to your house and judge you for free.
Well, I mean, you do that anyway, but okay. So because of how I'm moving, but how we're doing it, the home inspector comes and he's not allowed to tell us or show us the report. He has to give it to a different company. Naturally. So it was the silent judging I didn't like, because it was like, please just tell me what I need to fix so I can do it sooner. But that's my frustrations.
I just also want to be clear here, guys, that I for one am lazy for every single show that I even show up for. It's more rare that John is ever lazy for the show. And we're suffering for it now.
Well, what's fun is that you suffer when I am lazy and when I'm not. So it's kind of just an all around sort of thing.
Just suffer. Here. That's what you're saying.
But there was a really great question on our Patreon that I want to start with, and that kind of made me kick off and be like, hey, open range, ask whatever, and we will answer away. Danny, this one is specifically for you, but I would also like to get everyone else's opinions on it as well. We get asked, how does the U.S. Supreme Court ruling, a.k.a. the landmark Homelander decision, affect President Biden's 40K games? As an absolutist president, there are many rules he must obey in games he participates in his official capacity as president. I yield the floor to Sublime Court Justice. I don't like that word. The Right Honorable Danny Mountain Dewitt.
No, none of that is true. It's really important that you understand that. Well, what a complex question.
Yeah.
So the question here is whether or not Biden is
I mean,
allowed to kill people like Homelander
I think the question is, when Biden is playing Warhammer 40,000, is that an official act?
Yeah.
And I would say it would depend on who he's playing against.
Yeah, it could be a game of diplomacy, like I could see that.
So, for example, of course, we don't want to annoy our friends at GW because that's when bad stuff happens to us. But say President Biden is introduced to Warhammer through a friendly game with Mike Brandt.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is he then allowed to use his authority to just cheat?
Feels like an unofficial act.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when dealing with Mike Brandt. I think it's definitely an
act. But it is an act. It is an act to increase diplomacy between the UK and America with a company that exports a lot to America.
Official act.
But don't worry. Mike Brandt will tell him that he's a loser right off the get-go so that he won't feel bad if he does end up losing.
No, well, luckily you'll probably forget about it in 5 minutes or so.
Do you think for a second that Mike Brandt would be unkind to the elderly?
Do you want me to really answer that question?
Moving on. This question is specifically for Val, so thanks for coming along.
Oh, thanks.
Why was the Gargantuan Squiggoth the only Orc Forge World model to survive being legended? And how long do you think it's going to be before they put it out to pasture?
There's some Peaches fans out there. Some legendary legends about the Gargantuan Squiggoth. That's a very good question.
It's the dong that's sculpted on it.
It's kind of, it's like a sheathed dong, though. It's not a very explicit in Europe, dong. It's like a dog's dong without, anything interesting happening at the time.
Green
also,
rocket, if you will. Got it.
Why it has any package whatsoever? It is a large lump of fungus. It remains to be discovered at a later date. However, the history of the Gargantuan Squiggoth is a bit strange because for years it was out of print. Like it was still in the web store and out of stock. And then out of nowhere, I'd say even like late in my 40K playing days, it just reappeared. And it gave me great hope for the Squiggoth. I would not have expected it to be the last Squig standing.
My favorite thing about it was how that no matter how much I washed or dried it, it continually wept and scraped paint off of it.
Gross.
Yeah.
Was it an official Forge World model?
It was an official one, yeah. I accidentally bought it.
The Chinese gasoline resin doesn't normally actually have that problem.
It was very early on back in GW playing days, and I went on, I was like, this is really cool. And told my wife, I'm going to be like, I'm just going to check out here. I'm going through to, I know it'll tell me a stage when it converts it to US currency. And then it just never did. And I had a Gargantuan Squiggoth sent to me.
Nice.
Which was quite amazing. And then after 6th edition, it wasn't fun to play anymore.
That's not true. It was awesome.
Or it wasn't fun to play against Eldar as well, because I love being shot by web spinners with initiatives.
Warp spiders.
Warp spiders, yeah.
Warp spitters.
I said web spinners because that's their gun, right?
I'd imagine the Garg Squig was
spinners.
Way worse in 7th than it was in 8th edition, just because it was a big vehicle.
Yeah, it was huge. How long do you think it's got left? How long till it's put out to pasture?
Because like this, they remove things with the points sheet, right? Like that's how they get them. So it could happen like 6 months from now.
It could happen tomorrow.
It could happen tomorrow.
Do you think
if Mike Brandt watched this?
Continually making fun of Mike Brandt will speed it up, knowing how much you love the Gargantuan Squiggoth?
It's okay. Like Dickie has my collection. What would you say? 40% of it is obsolete at this point, Dickie? More?
There's a lot of just not able to use anymore. But you do have a very beautiful collection. It's great.
It's a nice collection.
Yeah.
We have here. I have always watched until the end of the credits, hoping for an after credit clip, but I have never not been disappointed. Took me a second to do that here. Why don't we do after credit clips?
Dickie?
No one tells me to.
We've been asking for this for years, Dickie.
shut the front door. There's no way.
You told us once you hit the button for the outro, you can't go back to any other camera until the stream stops.
It's over. Yeah, sorry, I'm done.
Let's just start splicing on like the after credit like Marvel thing. Like just literally just take
Like
Marvel scenes.
us eating a burrito or something.
No. There's like literally like Samuel L. Jackson confronting someone in a bar.
We'll FaceTime Seth and be like, hey, we want to talk to you about a podcast initiative, and then just cut the show there.
It'd be like, hey Seth, what up? And then that's it. Like we're introducing Seth to the Grim universe.
Oh my gosh, and then we can do just a black title screen at the end, which just be like, Danny McDevitt will return.
In 2025.
Welcome to chat, Robert Dalton. He says, after Dickie completed his last breakdown of rules, not emotionally, every time I look at a codex or mission card, I keep saying this needs a deep dickin'.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sure does.
Fantastic. And yeah, like was it tricky with Dickie that we were gonna make a bumper for your rules things?
Getting tricky with Dickie. I like that. Official act as well. Definitely an official act.
It says here, next question. I think 40K
If
YouTube
Richard does it, it's not a crime.
I am not a coach. I think 40K YouTube needs more tier lists. Can you do a tier list?
Sure.
We did a tier list. I think, Val, were you off that week?
Probably.
We did a tier list.
I just didn't do anything that week for whatever reason. I think I had a heavy homework week, and we did a tier list episode, and it wasn't good.
Well, remember we had Nathan on, and he did a tier list of podcasts.
Oh, that was good though.
That was a pretty good one.
That was pretty good. Like I think if we can find enough, I don't mind doing a tier list of tier lists. There's meta humor to be found in that. And then I'm almost at the place of doing a tier list of Necromunda models because of all of the cool stuff coming out.
Some good ass stuff. Also, Horus Heresy popping off right now.
I love the Necromunda has just turned into where they send ADD designers to go. Like they go to the miniature design studio, and they're just like, "Hey, we need you to design a Magos." And they come back 2 weeks later.
Seen the new model from Necromunda yet?
Oh, Dickie, pull that up while I'm chatting. You can.
I'm gonna. Find
but yeah, he spends like design a Magos. We need an AdMech Magos, and then they come back 3 weeks later, and they're going to be like, Steven, what the fuck is this Gene Stealer doing here? Like, it's really cool, right? I'm like, right, but we can't release that in 4K. I was like, fine, Specialist Games. Here's a miniature. Go. Or if someone's nice. Beautiful. If someone is being told to create a hero for Cities of Sigmar and comes back to this Pegasus 9, be like, this is just a Bretonian model. What the hell are you doing? Like, that's what a lot of these super cool models that come out feel like, especially the Necromunda ones. I want to say, just while Dickie's looking this up here, my favorite thing about the Necromunda one is they're trying to get sort of into Jurassic Park, but with Gene Stealers, which is awesome. It's just Magoses and the AdMech kind of just messing around with Gene Stealer DNA. There it is. A beautiful boy.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
So awesome.
Huh? Yeah, he's pretty neat, man.
It's got a little pet Gene Stealer. I want to remind people we currently don't have a dark AdMech Codex out. And like models like this make me question why we don't have a dark AdMech Codex out.
Yeah.
Danny, on a scale of 1 to 10, how unexcited are you to hear people talking about the lore of their dark mech army using just this model?
Well, it's not a dark. It's not a Mechanicus model. It's just a tech priest that's a gene that is part of a Gene Stealer cult. He's not even a tech priest anymore. He's
when it was lost to the Eye of Terror, it kind of molded with Nurgle, and like they kind of work together, and that's why he's like that now. The rest of my models are just plain though.
Jesus, there's 210 different things you can buy for Necromunda.
Isn't it crazy?
There's a ton of cool stuff that I want to use for 40K too in Necromunda stuff.
Man.
Hermitus is his name, which makes me think there's a Harry Potter connection to that model.
The fuck is a Chronos pattern iron crawler? This is so sick.
Yeah.
So while that answers the question, it looks like we were going to be doing a tier list of Necromunda models.
Man,
I'm into it. I'm into it.
And then we were going to sort them by was supposed to be a 40k model but went too far, or was originally always meant to be for Necromunda. Beautiful. What a lovely guy. Great question. This is embarrassing. Seth the Mad Dog says, please don't mention me on the show this week. So we're going to respect that.
Thanks for watching, Seth.
From this point
I'm not
onwards.
doing it. I'm going to talk about Seth as much as I fucking please. Because, look, he can't curtail my constitutional rights to free speech with his...
Hold on. Do you think that his comment in chat was an official act?
This was...
Seth is the president of Frontline Gaming now, so maybe he needs to
I think, as long as Reese is reporting profits to him, that's all that matters.
Oh my God, they have a squat trike.
Oh, Danny.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dickie, write this down. We're going to do a tier list of Frontline Gaming employees.
It's on the whiteboard.
All right, I'm in on that one for sure.
And guys, leave in the comments below if you can think of any other tier list you want, and we will literally just ruin all of our relationships in order to do them. This one's a little left field, but how do you explain the correlation between the amount of AdMech femboy art being produced during the 9th edition and its influence on AdMech's competitiveness? Does the GW design team need to commission Archeon of Flesh to get the faction back on track?
This has got a lot of layers of reference that I don't get, so I'm going to defer.
Danny, if you want to help unpack this one.
Yeah, I think it's only the perception that AdMech is bad because they're femboys, not that the rules for AdMech are bad. So, that is kind of June. What's that?
Yeah, it was so close to June, and you're being so disrespectful right now.
Oh, dude, I don't have to be respectful anymore. It's not June. No, just kidding. But really, AdMech is probably okay now. I think they're not in the worst place in the world. They got almost a full rewrite of rules. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. What are people complaining about?
Warhammer. It's what we managed to fill an hour a week with, is people complaining about Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
We need them not to fix everything. Otherwise we don't have anything to do. Oh, this is a good one from Mark. Thank you, Mark, for having a depth question. If you were to create the Warhammer Olympic Games, what would the major events be?
Will there be a speed paint? Whoa! Jinx.
You want me a pop?
Yeah, soda.
Obi soda. Speed painting.
Water cup races.
Actually, I like the idea. I think we've actually already made this joke, but let's make it again. I like the idea of just Warhammer people competing in just straight up Olympic events.
Are we going to do that at LVO? They were gonna be
I feel like this is still a good joke.
I did try and organize Kicker and what's his face? Muscle Man from Vanguard Tactics.
Yep.
Stephen Box. I did try to organize them to do a push-up competition and a foot race.
When I was running the first ever square-based GT at Mini Wargaming, I turned around and who was he doing? He was doing dips against Chuck Strength Hammer. There's a guy AOS and fantasy thing. Dave and Chuck were doing a dip off, they were doing dips, which is I guess for triceps.
They were just dipping each other.
They're just dipping.
I would like to see competitive a Yahtzee style event where you just have a bunch of pro players and all you give them 6 dice and you're first to roll 1 through 6 on every dice, or so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First to get a run wins. And just watch, I think 4 people just break down in absolute competitive anger.
Yeah.
I like an event where you have to like drink a beer, like slam a beer, and then like do circles on a baseball bat, like for like 20 deploy. Times around the baseball bat, and then play a turn at 40K.
That used to be actually a proud LVO event, Beer Hammer. I don't know. Does Beer Hammer still exist?
I think it was replaced at LVO by the pub crawl.
No, pub crawl was out. Beer Hammer and pub crawl were two separate things.
I think it didn't garner enough interest, and they cut it because most people drink. Have enough players.
Like most people just drink throughout all of the tournaments anyway.
My favorite Beer Hammer moment is I was over watching the tables, and we'll say a former member of the independent characters was just like standing at his table, a little bit bored of his game, and was just like trying to get me to go get him a snack. But without like directly asking for me. It was tremendously awkward, and I did not get him a snack.
Huh. Good.
No. We're gonna enter. Well, when you come back, because I like this idea of Warhammer events, and I think that might be a tier list where I'm going to come up with a bunch of events and we'll rank them. Duncan in chat here says, "Did you see that GW is taking Death Watch and a bunch of Inquisitors off sale on their website? Is this a soft confirmation of Agents of the Imperium Codex?"
Didn't they already leak that? Like the cover of it and stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Did they though?
Yeah.
I think so.
Death Watch is going bye-bye as an individual codex and is being roped in with Inquisition where they belong. Let's be honest here. Or, is that a controversial opinion?
Like going back to a Witch Hunter style codex?
I mean, you'd have to have Grey Knights in it, though, to have a Witch Hunter codex, right?
Yep, they would.
I heard like Grey Knights aren't a part of it, but I think they should be. Grey
Knights are not a part of it? I heard the opposite of that.
You did?
Yeah. I did hear the opposite of that as well.
I think anything that gets less Marine codexes out there is a good thing.
Well, I think like the sort of the Agents of the Imperium corner of Warhammer is not mined nearly enough. Like it's a really cool element of the Imperium and has some of the coolest. I like the assassins are in that group. Even Deathwatch feels like they should be cooler than they tend to be on the table. Grey Knights need Primaris.
But yeah.
Are they very good? I guess they're very good.
Very bad.
Oh, they're very bad. Okay.
Grey Knights?
No.
Deathwatch.
Deathwatch. Oh, Deathwatch. Yeah. Well, they're either like stupid broken or really bad. There's no in between.
Their weird little manta ray shaped plane was way better.
But there's a time where you could bring lots of like, you could bring all the weirdos in like inquisitorial. What were they called? Like the henchmen.
Retinues.
Retinues. Yeah.
You can bring the monkey.
The Jokaro?
Excuse you, that's a Jokaro. Like that's
He's a monkey. Like let's be honest.
The assassins.
He's an alien, Dickie. Like
aliens can look like monkeys.
Nearly a monkey.
He's a Xenos. But like, or even like that shit's ripe for kill team squads. Like, or like I'm shocked that they haven't really because they use a lot of remember berries to drive their new stuff, and I'm just surprised they haven't gone into that well because it's a sweet well.
I want to let me look this up here. This is a little bit of an aside, but this was posted in the Frontline Gaming community. This is aside the episode. The post says it tags directly Kicker. It's like, I am posting this here instead of emailing the TO because the homebrew rules y'all have for the LSO Kill Team event significantly change core rules for how the game is played. Emailing the TO individually would be inefficient at best, and at worst, not have people on the same information level as to how these changes affect Kill Team.
That's true.
What do you think Kicker's response to that was?
Nothing. Also, inquisitorial agents are totally a kill team. Updating a previous item.
Yes. His response was, "Hi, person. I honestly have no idea how Kill Team is played currently, and just run the LSO as a whole."
Cutting edge customer service.
The most efficient way to correct a rules issue is to contact Kicker directly, preferably by tagging him or private messaging him on Facebook, so he can contact the TO and then get back to you rather than just directly doing it. Fantastic. That was my favorite thing. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Space Marines are dumb as an army and shouldn't exist or be entirely female.
I don't necessarily think that's true.
Wait,
sure,
what?
Wait, you don't think women belong in Warhammer, Dickie?
Of course they do.
But you just said that you don't agree with me when I said the Space Marines should be gone as an army or be entirely female.
Well, but I was like denying the first.
Dickie, just stop. Like, don't argue with him. This is the worst kind of argument. This is the false choice dichotomy. It's a logical fallacy, and John is going to try and get you to buy into it. Just don't argue with him. Just say, okay, John, whatever you say.
John.
Buddy,
there you go.
1, that's a lot of words for our audience base on a Tuesday night. 2, have you even considered the U.S. to Canadian currency conversion when I'm buying and selling? I'm going to take that absolute silence and disappointed look because I'm right.
Also, on the Canadian web card anyway, I'm still seeing Death Watch, and I'm still seeing all the Agents of the Imperium.
Is that the Canadian version?
Canada's always a couple of years behind everyone else. So
We're always behind the 8 ball on this one.
So you have Europe, which is 6 months ahead of the meta, the United States that is current to the meta, and Canada that's a couple of years behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're still playing 9th edition, ready for WTC. I don't know what the issue is.
I heard you guys were playing ETC.
Oh yeah, we're going back there too. Yeah,
it's not even real Warhammer.
This is a great question here for everyone on the panel. Do you think Malkador took a shit in the Golden Throne when he took the Emperor's place?
100%.
How long was he there for?
Until he disintegrated into dust.
How long did that take? Was it like a day?
It must have been at least because they got lost going through the vengeful spirit.
I think it's unlikely that he did not take a shit.
No, so whenever something dies, it shits itself. So he absolutely shat his pants.
He pooped on that thing.
Also, that means Sanguinius shat himself on the deck of the vengeful spirit. And that's the last thing he did before he died.
Do Primarchs poop?
Yeah. They don't have dicks, sure? They have buttholes.
Everyone.
Are you sure they have buttholes?
I'm sure. I've checked. I've seen several pieces of art.
Oh.
Reference material. We should do a tier list of Primarch buttholes.
Can we not?
Man, the ETC is on hard times. They're down to 3. They're down to 3 games.
Yeah. So what? 9th Age and what else?
Yeah, 9th Age, Flames of War, and Warhammer Underworlds.
They discontinued that game.
Yeah, it's tough. They're having a tough time over there at the ETC.
Did GW really discontinue Underworlds?
They're stopping Underworlds and Warcry, and squatting like 90% of the range.
Wait a minute.
When did that happen?
I think they announced it recently.
Other games. Warhammer Underworlds. Still seems like everything's here.
Yeah.
If you go to the article
in Canada,
if you go to the article when they talk about things that they're changes to the model range for the new Age of Sigmar 4th edition, they're stopping producing 90% of the Warcry sets and like almost all of the Underworld sets.
Oh, that strikes me as the same shit that was going down though. With that's the same like SDS main studio thing. So they're probably like ending support of those games in AOS. That would be my guess.
Well, I think the player base generally ended support of that game as well. So
not at the ETC, baby.
It's the number 1 tournament. But yeah. Val. By the way, did Malkador shit himself on the throne? I didn't get an answer from you.
I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a minor league baseball promotion I saw recently, which was there's a row of seats that are just toilets.
Nice.
Don't like
in the
that.
Outfield, and they're not actual working toilets.
That hasn't stopped some people at that.
But then I'm less interested.
Well, this is the thing, is that like this is just like clearly someone is going to shit in those toilets. Perhaps multiple 100%. People are going to shit in those toilets. Yeah. It seems like a terrible idea, and I just don't stand for it.
Oh my god, this is another great tier list idea. Tier list for which Primarchs would make the best roommates.
None of them.
I think
like 9 feet tall. They would eat you out of house and home.
It would depend on what stage of my life I'm in. If this is college time, a lot of them I would accept just to split the rent. Right now, if you're crashing, no, this time I wouldn't take.
I think the property damage alone is prohibitive of having a Primarch roommate. Yeah.
That's why it would have to be like Dorn or Perturabo who could like repair the stuff that they break to a high standard.
A real sneaky one to get through.
Yeah.
I don't think I want Kurz living in my house.
None of them seem like fun guys. Now they seem like bad hangs. All of them seem like really bad hangs.
Mortarion certainly seems like a fun guy.
No,
you think Russ would be a good hang?
Russ would be a great hang.
Do you like fighting to the death?
Well, I mean, after drinking, maybe, yeah.
Like if you lived in Edmonton, maybe.
Russ would only be a good roommate in one specific province in Canada.
Korax would be literally invisible. I feel like that's probably the best one.
But he would be so creepy, though. Like he would be creeping you out.
You would be like that kid from American Beauty who films the bag.
I just like the idea of just like a gigantic, incredibly morose person. Just just taking up the entire couch. Just none of the lights on, just the light reflection off of the TV, but he's friggin' 12 feet tall.
I now imagine Angron, but just instead of aggression, it's just passive aggression. So when you come home from work, he's sitting and the nails bite and he's like, I did your dishes again today. We're having people come over tonight.
Yeah. You can't just let them soak for 2 days.
Yeah.
You're late with your share of the electric bill again, so I just paid it.
Also, I murdered your family.
In order to sell the bones to pay for the electric. This one, philosophical one here, Dickie.
Oh. What?
If you cut Vulcan directly down the middle, which half would regenerate, or would you get 2 Vulcans?
Oh.
This, of course, for those like the hosts of the show who know nothing about Warhammer, the listeners also don't. Vulcan is a perpetual, so he regenerates and it comes back to life from grievous injuries.
Does so in the lore, does a portion of the perpetual need to remain? Could you not just atomize him, or would he always come back?
I'm pretty sure no matter how you do it, they come back.
I don't think you can atomize a Primarch, though, in general. I think that would be really difficult to do.
I mean, dare a dream, buddy.
Yeah.
But, I would say the half of him with his head would probably regenerate.
Split right down the middle.
Right down the middle, like the way Nick Nanavati does teams.
We're not talking hot dog style. I'm talking hamburger style here, baby.
No. Well, obviously, the top half is if it's hamburger. I mean, that's making the question obvious.
Yeah, we're talking hot dog style. Like I said,
cleaving him in two.
Back in the old days of Grimm, when we asked Nick Nanavati if he would consider splitting Art of War in half, that's the style of cutting we're doing right here. Right down the middle. Would you end up with 2 Vulcans? And if so, would it be like a twin situation where one was smart and one was dumb?
Oh, like the stupid head on like Ghidorah from that Godzilla movie?
Yeah.
Like the one that gets bitten off and it's like kind of stupid.
Or like from the Richard E. Grant film, How to Get Ahead in Advertising, where he would have like an evil Vulcan side and a regular Vulcan side.
Does he have a second head in that movie?
Yeah, How to Get Ahead in Advertising, one grows out of his neck there. It's a really good movie.
Doesn't sound like it.
That.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I guess just to summarize, unsure.
I'm just gonna say arbitrarily one half of them would reboot, the other half would be sink into the ground, a lifeless hunk of flesh.
Otherwise, then you would have the Inquisition be like, well, why don't we just cut them in half like a billion times and just have an army of Vulcan?
Quarter them up.
Yeah. Which one gets the dong? No.
Do you think his special essence would have to be divided? Like his spirit would be divided between the different bodies, though, so he'd be less powerful?
So that assumes that there's such a thing as a soul, which we all know is just made up liberal garbage.
Well, this is 40K, so it's all made up liberal garbage.
After years of being told that we're awful people, I'm just leaning hard the other direction, trying to get that audience in and alienate everyone else.
I think I've said this before. I'd love to see like someone with a theologian, some form of academic religious person, like look at 40K lore and talk about it, because it is really weird. It's a mishmash of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd be curious, like, where's Jesus in the 41st millennium?
Tied to the golden throne.
Yeah, he's the emperor.
Is he though?
He died for humanity's sins.
Oh, look, we have some good answers in chat.
Oh, what we got?
Which side? Mikey P. Read that one.
Oh yeah, he says Mikey P says the right side. That's where the liver is.
Sisyphus.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Good answer.
Good answer. Better than ours.
Sisyphus. Yeah.
This one is
indeed.
This one is great, considering all of the things that happen with our friends at Frontline Gaming. How many dead birds can I fit in a traveling case that is both FAA approved and costs $155 US?
With or without Seth's head?
That's an important question, because if Seth still has his head, he can stuff a lot of dead birds into that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Into the mouth. Just masticates them.
He uses his mouth to kill them.
Are they chewed?
Well, my question would be, what bird?
Dead.
Because if it's a peacock, we're talking like two max. But if we're talking like a pigeon, then I'm just imagining my bag downstairs, probably 2 by 4 by 3. So like 24 if we're talking pigeons.
Nice.
Dude, I think you're going to get a lot more than 24 pigeons. I mean, there's a lot of feathers. It's going to compress.
Yeah.
Think of a pillow, right? Like, I mean, probably 48 even.
Someone tag Kicker in the Frontline Gaming community. It's the only efficient way to find out this answer.
Tag him and talk with your home brew carrying case. How many dead birds can I legally get through TSA?
With no Seth head, though. Yeah.
Can you take birds through TSA that are dead? Can you take meat?
You can't take
Are
meat.
we flying across the international boundary?
I think you could take a stuffed bird through TSA. Guys, if you're watching this or listening to this and you're a TSA officer, let us know. Can I take a stuffed bird as a carry-on?
But how many as well? Because if it can take one, what about 100?
Whoa, let's start with 1, and then we can go from there.
Well, to get 100, I'd need at least 2 frontline carrying cases, I feel like.
Does TSA allow a frozen dead animal onto a plane? The simple answer is yes.
Oh, that's good.
Simple answer. Yeah.
Do I have to check it, or can I bring it as a carry-on?
Oh, there's no room left in the cabin, so we're going to have to check your collection of dead birds.
Absolutely not. They're fragile, and they're meaningful to me.
Here's another Reddit anecdote, though. PSA, don't bring dead animals in a cooler in your carry-on. Our flight had to turn around from the runway because someone put a cooler with a dead bird in it. In the overhead. It spilled into the overhead, leaked out, and the pilot declared a biohazard. So the question really is the FLG carrying bag waterproof?
Secure so it won't leak out.
Yeah, that's very important.
It does have
Contact Seth. He sells an aftermarket liner for the bag.
It's called a garbage bag.
Yeah. It's one of the scented ones, so it'll help preserve the odor too.
Fantastic. Okay, this one here will obviously get us a lot of positive comments from anyone who's made it this far. Can a female custodian have a Space Marine's baby? And if so, would they only be Space Marine babies if they were boys?
Oh.
I took my headphones off. I didn't even hear it.
With a 10-foot pole.
All right.
Can a female custodian have a Space Marine's baby? And if so, would they only be Space Marine babies if they were boys?
Space Marines don't have junk.
They don't have penis, that's correct.
Maybe.
They don't have junk. They got nothing.
Don't know that for sure.
They are Ken dolls down there.
I thought we did.
I think it's weird that to reproduce, some man has to go around with his tool and just extract their seed and then put it in someone else. Do you think there's any undertones there?
I think that probably Custodes and Space Marines are both sterile for like obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether they have genitalia
Smoke
or not,
a lot
I
of
don't
weed.
really care.
Yeah. Also, they have a lot of extra organs to fit in there, and that wound takes up a lot of space.
Out.
Get it out of there.
Yeah, no ovaries.
This one will be a little less inflammatory here. If all Space Marines are subjected to hypno-indoctrination, why bother with deadly recruiting trials if combat skills can be imprinted or learned?
Wow, that's no fun.
Shits and giggles.
Aptitude.
But you're going to wipe them so they don't remember any of it.
Well, you got muscle memory, though, John. And like, plus people have memory. It's a fact. Aptitude for different things, you know? Like, you could get amnesia, and like maybe you're really good at hacky sack. You probably still play hacky sack.
Mitch, I don't like this question, so I'm just not going to read it. So we're going to move on there.
Okay.
I'm impressed. I don't really want to know what didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
it starts with, do you think that the rumor that Fulgrim in his demonic form has or would, and then I'm not reading the rest. So there we go. This one, especially to the rest of the panel here, less so me. Paul asks, if the old world is such a good game, why is no one playing it?
It's not true.
There's people playing it.
I don't know. I find that people are playing
Secondly, people are playing Old World. People are playing Old World.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. So, follow up to this, someone asks, if the old world is so good, why haven't there been any good podcasts built around it yet?
Zing!
Oh, that wasn't even my joke. You can tell because it was funny.
It was a good joke.
Yeah.
Not disputing anything on that one.
Yeah, no, but it's all true. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Dwellers Below is pretty good.
What 40k faction would taste best with Arby's sauce?
We were talking about the actual model kits?
It's annoyingly vague.
Is that the liquid?
They're all made of the same plastic valve. They all taste the same.
The liquidy barbecue sauce?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've never actually had Arby's.
Real life.
Okay. Well, then you haven't gotten diarrhea from it, so I really appreciate your confession there.
I'm innocent. I'm an innocent man.
Yeah. That's what your
Taco Bell got through and through, but oh, you son of a bitch.
What a high quality sound clip we
did
just
John
heard.
add? Did John add that? Did you add that sound effect, or was that Dickie?
That was
I was
Dickie.
looking at Dickie. Dickie had his hands in his lap.
That was Dickie, though. I'm going to have Dickie send me that sound effect now. Okay. Here we go. Oh, perfect.
Probably
this is our last question I have here.
Best.
And this one actually is related to 40K, and it would be actually interesting to talk about here. In each army, though we're not going to do each army, what role is missing / not well covered, and what would you add unit-wise to fill that gap?
Ooh. So many options.
Chaos tanks.
Necrons, a ground option that isn't just for warriors transport-wise.
For Gene Stealer cults, another unit that isn't a character.
I'm sorry. Just by mentioning that, they've started to produce 2 new characters.
Fuck.
There's also like, by the looks of it, 15 to 20 from Necromunda that you could also use as characters.
Of course.
Buddy, Val, don't worry. Next week, Dickie's going to set up a tier list program. We're going to tier list all of the Necromunda characters.
Easy.
Easy.
Yeah. What about orcs, Danny? What would you add to orcs? What are they missing?
A flying transport would be cool.
Yeah.
Chinook. Imagine if they brought the Chinook back.
That would be sick if they brought the Chinook back. That thing was awesome.
You know what I miss is from the kind of the Gorka Morka game. Chipmunk Jan coming in with bring back Grot tanks. They were great, absolutely. But I miss the idea of the old lore where orcs start off in the middle of nowhere and just kind of grow up like idiots, and they're different. They're like more tribal and savage and all that before they're brought into town and become smarter and more grown. I would like a youth style orc unit, where it's kind of like recently grown orcs who are being just taught the ways with like one knob that's leading them, and kind of like
you'd like a really smooth skinned knob is what you're looking for.
Well, you can really you want to reuse the runter just because of the hood is really important and keeping the model looking different. Because you can't have a bunch of smooth skins and just you won't be able to tell who the leader is. You need a hood.
If it's got the hood on, John, you don't know what it really looks like. It could be real fucking weird under there.
Well, they just make it the same as they did with Lionel Johnson. They give you an option where it's just the head, no hood.
Oh, like an unhooded head and
one where they've removed the hood.
I, for one, think hooded all the way.
That's the natural way that I think orcs would be, because it's cold out there.
It is. It is. It's cold for the youths. That's enough of that. Where we're going to. Robert Dalton, great job in necrodicking. Is what we're going to call Dickie's Necron Tactics series.
Nice.
But yeah, let's do a little bit of eBay's Prices Right and wrap this up here.
I thought you didn't prepare anything.
You'd like it if I didn't prepare anything?
Yeah.
Lucky for you, I have two hour-long meetings on Tuesdays where I can do things like create adverts for online gaming products.
I enjoy that the second you stop working a full-time job and earning a degree, you stopped overproducing the show. So you need something to procrastinate in your life so that the show's
you need
content.
to be a little busier.
Yeah, I do.
You need that pressure.
I need that pressure to perform, and sadly, people have sent me really nice messages about the past couple of weeks. So I'm like, I don't have to try. This week, though, Shock Horror book 6, I think it is, Danny, in the Araman series is coming. And after the last book came out, where Araman on the right here just had fantastic nipples, very prominent. They've been circled. They have been removed from the cover of the latest Araman book that's coming out next week. So no Araman nipples at all. And that inspired me to search for Warhammer nips on eBay.
Oh, no.
So we're going to be looking for
some offensive Citadel models from the 1970s and 80s. Let's go.
You would think so, but actually, no.
Late 90s.
You're going to get stuff like this. We have Games Workshop Warhammer Dwarf Gyrocopter Blister Pack 8677D Metal Nip. Most of these are meant to be nib, like new in box, but they misspelt it.
Or maybe new in package.
Oh, maybe.
No. I refuse.
That's not the accepted nomenclature.
So, Danny, you won last time, I believe. Or you were the only person here last time, I believe, because Dickie, you won. How much did someone pay for this metal nip?
It's dwarfs in there?
It's a dwarf gyrocopter.
Gyro.
It's a metal gyro.
Oh, a whole-ass gyrocopter?
Whole gyrocopter.
In blister, bro.
In nip.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be $85.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going $105. $105
what?
For a dwarven nip. And you said 105? God, I hope I don't have to do math. I didn't. It was $86.99. Danny, right out of the gate, was very impressive guess right there.
85, to be honest with you. That was very good. Very good, Danny.
Next up, we have the Imperial Infantryman's Handbook Uplifting Primer Warhammer 40K Nip. Now, this looks like
the first or second edition.
Danny, this looks like the third edition or fourth edition.
Okay.
I own the first, the Damocles, and the gray one that was released.
Whoa.
Are these big money? Are these big money items? Is that what you guys are?
I didn't know they'd been re-released. I just know they pop up every now and again. They always sell.
They pop up every now and again. They're like, honestly, if you can get your hands on one at a reasonable price, it's a fantastic book. It's an in-universe representation of a book that's given to every Imperial Guardsman and tells them how to deal with like every scenario. And it's great, like, you know, like if you're charged by a gene stealer, just attach your bayonet because the Emperor's will get you through.
Jesus.
And they're famously weak in close combat.
Yeah, it's just famously poor in close combat. So I really appreciate that about it. But yeah, how much did someone pay for a NIP handbook?
I'm going to take a page out of old Val Heffelfinger, and I'm going to say $105.
$105. Val, how do you feel about him stealing your answer?
$200.
$200? Wow, that's so much.
Good guess.
The right answer is $150.
Does that make him closer?
It makes him closer by $5.
Son of a bitch.
If only you did 190 instead.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Now, this game's not a game of pure skill. Don't you dare say this is luck.
It's a pretty standard price for this as well. This book is like stupid expensive.
Wow.
Next up, we have Warhammer 40k Celestine the Living Saint Nip. Metal oops blister. So, guys, how much for Celestine Nips?
I'm going to say $65.
$65 for the Nips.
No way.
55.
55. You guys value
It's going to be like $400.
The right answer is $69.99.
God damn it!
I was going to say 69 too. Damn it.
Danny,
you're
dummying me tonight. Dummying me.
Yeah. Val, hopefully you can pull a couple back here for a little bit because Danny's like to the point where I'm checking the access history in the slideshow to see.
No, he's
Don't worry,
fucking
John.
laser
I've
focused.
never looked at that slideshow.
That is
painfully aware of.
The secrets are safe in the slideshow. I'll tell you that much.
I could like even post the link in several places and then it'd still be safe. Next up,
you'd be safe.
Warhammer 40k Codex Supplement Iron Hands
No.
hardcover book nip, new
book.
sealed.
Oh no, this fucking book.
This fucking book ruined an entire LBO, right?
Sucked.
Oh, this is the 8th edition one.
This is the 8th edition book, yeah.
This was the book that was responsible for the Unkillable Leviathan Dreadnought, right?
It is a legendary
Yes.
book, but I don't know if anyone who collects these would know or care about that.
No, because
$45.
$45.
Steep. $20.
Why is someone buying this book, do you guys think?
Collectors.
The art, the fluff.
Remember the old days? I don't know.
No, it's to
Nostalgia.
keep it sealed in the nip.
Keep it away from the public.
Locking it away like the Ark of the Covenant. Someone spent, though, $39.99.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just
God, I'm
fucking
getting so lucky tonight.
Just get dummy.
Almost a clean sweep, Danny.
wow. I don't think you've wow. That's all I
I
got to
forgot
say.
this box set ever existed. This is Warhammer 40k Stormcloud Attack, Faith and Heresy.
Oh man.
I
What is
forgot
that?
about this box. I think
The
we're going to have
Helldrake.
an episode where we just go over all of the weird ass boxes that were released.
It's a Helldrake and something else.
Is it a Helldrake versus a Storm Talon?
It is a Helldrake versus a Storm Talon. It was a standalone 2-player game released in June 2016.
Was this
Little
what they
before my
did the
time.
dogfight thing?
No.
Yep.
Mhm.
No, that's death from above or whatever. That's
That's
later.
from the Skies. That's a different. It's like a 2-player. It's when they were doing box games based on their model range to try and sell
Faith
more
and
models.
Fury had, though, like... Well, oh, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to guess how much this is. I'm going to guess that this goes for a cool $120.
Ooh, $120. He's at $150. This actually went for
Oh, he brought it
Nice.
back.
$200. Bearing in mind, neither of these units is good right now.
Doesn't really matter.
You always need 3.
Value's there.
It's new in box.
And it comes with those two: a transfer sheet, some dice. It doesn't even come with a board.
The board
It's,
is your imagination, John.
Wow, Danny, that might have been one of the
Look at that
greatest.
kit.
It's a good looking kit right there.
$200.
That's
Doesn't
not even a
come-
Storm Talon. That's just the potato.
Yeah,
This little guy.
it's not a good kit.
Oh wait, but
Beautiful.
what's the plane? What's the plane one? Is that the Storm Talon?
That is the Storm
The
Raven
Storm Hawk.
or Storm Hawk.
Yeah, the
Is
Storm
it-
Hawk is the one that has no hover capability, and
Yeah.
the Storm Raven is the transport.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Well, I forgot about that. Fantastic.
We had to change it so people wouldn't be confused.
Last week,
Tuesday. Love it.
Last week we had a comment. Or
at least 2 weeks ago.
Yep. It said, see you next Tuesday. Apparently is rude. No idea whatsoever by that. So to make it less rude, we added the C.
That makes sense.
Yeah. To make it good. But yeah, guys, we made it. I only promoted Frontline Gaming once. I'm sure there won't be an after credit scene where we play an advert again.
I have an anecdote I wish to share, in which Robert Symes, aka the Honest Wargamer, called me today.
Oh, is that his real name?
Yes.
Robin?
Rob.
Robin Roberts?
He fresh off of his deluge of AOS 4 content, and he called me in quite the tizzy, and he said that he was sick over the past few weeks, and that he was drinking a lot of smoothies to make himself feel better. And why did we feel that we needed to make a short about him enjoying a smoothie beverage?
Dickie.
And I laughed at him, and I was like, that short's at least 2 years old, Rob. and I've showed it to you multiple times.
We were talking, and I was like, there's no way he's ever watched this show. Like, where is this going?
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah.
Also, it's a great short. One of my faves.
It is.
It's my favorite.
He just, I don't know where you got that music from, Dickie, but it's just a super cut of one stream Rob was on where he just kept on sipping a milkshake.
Loved it. Loved every sip.
It's just him consistently going,
You know, I'm actually not allowed to drink milkshakes in the presence of my wife because the way that I drink them irritates her so much. So she has to put on headphones whenever I drink the milkshake or the music or something.
How do you drink it?
I like the mouthfeel of the milkshake, so I move it around in my mouth, and that's apparently disgusting.
And then probably I would say like long exhale, and then that final slurp has got to be 50 to 80 seconds long.
Oh, it's so long.
Yeah, like, you know, the next time I come around to your house, Danny, I'm going to bring you a milkshake and be like, hey, man.
Oh, yeah, brother.
That's a way of milkshakes. That's how you win friends. Bring a milkshake.
Oh, what you guys got going on? Val, it's been quite a couple of weeks.
I'm trying to get something in the can with what's that show I do? Squarebase. And unfortunately, I cannot do Wednesday this week, so we'll be recording maybe a deep dive.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Maybe a deep dive on the dwarves, perhaps. No, that was supposed to end it. Sorry. I'm producing again.
And you complain about Dickie sound effects.
Hey, yeah, I know.
It comes from a little while for that.
Comes from a place of insecurity.
That's where my negative comments come from as well.
What's going on with
that old world charm?
I don't know. I've missed the last couple episodes. I've just been busy doing other stuff, or like I've already had my day planned, and you know, Adam and Peach just jump right on there. No big deal.
I can tell you. So I just finished editing the 21.1 and 0.2. They should be jumping into the Patreon today, and then jumping on to your normal podcast feed probably later this week.
Wait, let's pull this back a second. Your numbering scheme is 21.1 and then 21.2.
Yep. Well, so 21.1 is the free to export one, and then 21.2 is for the Patrons only.
So what's the 21? What's 21.0?
There's no 21.0.
There is no 21.0.
There's one and two. I think
the
it's
last
Australian.
one I see is June 25th.
It was wild.
You guys missed a week.
They did miss a week. Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Nurgle Matt in chat here says, don't you dare tell Square-based or oldie worldy charms, and I can say this because that's not how old world charm is spelled, about my meta-defining double hill
Hell Pit Abomination. Hell
Pit Abomination games.
Dub Hell Pit, eh? Dub Hell Pit. All right.
They're gross. They're gross.
Well, it's top secret, so.
I don't know about that. I'm going to pee my pants, guys. I've just got to reveal that. Oh. It's come on strong, and I have to go. I have to go immediately. So.
All right, goodbye, Val.
Yeah, bye.
See you next Tuesday.
What a great show.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
It's time to step into the grim darkness with nerds gather talking Warhammer madness. Grim After Dark, the podcast with the hosts John, Danny, and Val, but they're not the most. Claiming to be experts, but it's all a facade. Talking about battles and dice rolls, they're all odd. Trying to sound cool with their Warhammer talk, but I'm here to expose. It's all just squawk. Nerds, everywhere I see talking Warhammer this, like it's a decree. But let me tell you, homie, it is all just a game. In the real world, homie, we are not the same. So put down the dice, step out of the dark. It's time to live life, nerd, make your own mark. Grim After Dark, the nerds playground. Talking Warhammer this, acting all profound. But when I listen, it's all just a bunch of noise. I love roasting nerds and their stupid ass toys. Stupid ass toys, I wanna grab them, put my hands around the neck, squeeze, Warhammer squeeze, until they can't breathe again. Tell a friend, I'm out here roasting nerds again.
What?
It's my birthday.